Here at the table saw, I've zoomed in because we need to change out the blade and put in a Dado blade. It's found in this kit. Here's how you do it. Put your finger in, pull out the throat plate. Next, there's a flap here that tries to keep the sawdust going down into the dust collector. It's magnetic, so you just kind of pull it and it hinges to the right. Then you gotta take out the blade. Those wrenches are on the side. And you've got an open end and a closed end. You need to have the open end on this one, the closed end on a big nut on the right side of the blade. To get that hooked on there, and you pull them this way, apart. Unscrew the nut, and be really careful not to drop it down into the dust collecting pipe. I've done it many times, so hold on to it. There's a washer on the side as well. Just kind of pull that off. That comes off too. And then the blade comes off. Okay, and we can set that aside. Don't set it down on something metal. So put it on something plastic, wood, I don't care, but anything but metal, the metal table. Now inside, and I know it's a little hard to see on the camera, there's a cartridge that looks like this one. This one is meant for the Dado blade. It's got a much thicker piece of aluminum here, whereas that one is a little bit smaller because it's got a bigger blade. Lift up, get that out of the way, this little handle, that's just for the guard. There's a red key on the right side. Turn it up and then pull it out. So I went up, out, now it's free. That little key goes right here in this hole. There are 2 pins holding it in. So right now this is in like this. There's 2 pins here and here. I'm going to grab the center and kind of go back and forth, wobble along each pin, and that should pull it right off. And I generally try to get both hands in there so I can do this. And it pulls right out. We need to replace it with the bigger one. You just reverse everything you just did. I tend to put the bottom pin in first and then lay that inside. Bottom pin on, that's right where it goes. I can see that. The other pin, the top one, is hidden under here, so you kind of feel it as you're putting it in. It really isn't too hard to get. Right there, right there. And I push it in the middle, so I'm shoving it into the middle as hard as I can, and I get the little adapter here inset, and that just goes right in. Key goes in and down, in and down. So you find that little hole and push down. Now it's in. Now all we have to do is put in these blades. Now as you can see, there's a whole bunch of blades in here. But for this project, we only need these 2 blades. So these are very common. It even says this side out, which means this side has to be that way. The other one goes the other way. Put this on. And of course, please make sure the teeth are going the right direction. If they're facing the wrong way, you got to swap blades. That happens a lot. Then I need 1 spacer in between. That's just a little piece of paper, but it gives it what I need for the base and the top to fit. And slip on the other blade again. Make sure the teeth are right. It says this side out on this side. And because this is so thin, I can just put the washer back on and then put the nut on, which I like to do with my left hand instead of my right. These blades are sharp, so you want to be careful because anytime I rub across, I'm just going to end up slicing myself just a little bit. Then put these back on and snug. You notice I did not crank on it super hard. They're snug and that's all it needs. Now I need the correct throat plate. This one, that goes down, plate goes back in, is too narrow. It's not meant for that. It's meant for a single blade. So that throat plate is found on the side of the saw. That one is for 3/4 of an inch, so that's a little oversized. This one is the one I want, and I need this slice in the back. Now, as you can see, the blade is way too high, and that's fine. It's just not meant to go that high. It's the handle in the front of the machine. Handle in the front, turn it, bring it down. There, now that's right. Now I haven't adjusted the height officially, but at least the throat plate's all the way down. And now we can make our adjustments, get our measurements set up, but the thickness is correct. We're going to be inserting 1/4 of an inch, and we'll set that up now.